and welcome to the Week 11 NFL Injury Report, as we'll run on all the significant injuries from the remaining of the Week 11 schedule. We do this every Sunday at about noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, which would be 10 a.m. for me here in Phoenix. Get you set for the day and to help set your fantasy leagues if you happen to be in a few. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, ring the bell, and get notified every time I go live. And let's get started with the Week 11 NFL Injury Report. This is excluding Thursday Night Football between the Commanders and Eagles, since they've already played. So we're going to start with the early games, beginning with the Los Angeles Rams at the New England Patriots. For the Rams, defensive tackle Neville Gallimore with a neck, and tackle Rob Haverstein, as well as cornerback Charles Woods with an ankle. Haverstein has an ankle as well. All three of those players are out. Tackle Joe Noteboom with an ankle is doubtful. And cornerback Josh Wallace with a hip and linebacker Brian Young with a knee are both questionable. And you got a lot of names on here for the New England Patriots, and they're all listed as questionable. Cornerback Alex Austin with an ankle is questionable. Defensive tackle Christian Barmore is questionable, but it's not injury related. But in many circles, he may be playing today against the Rams. Safety Kyle Duggar with an ankle. Then you have defensive tackle Daniel Ecule, and linebacker Christian Ellis, both with abdomen injuries. They're questionable. Tackle Vidarian Lowe, also questionable with a shoulder. Safety Marte Mapu and defensive tackle Jacqueline Roy are both questionable with neck injuries. Linebacker Sion Takitaki is questionable with a knee, and defensive end Dietrich Wise is questionable with a foot. Moving on to one of the big games today, the Ravens at the Steelers. For Baltimore, safety Eddie Jackson is out, non-injury related. Defensive tackle Travis Jones is questionable with an ankle. And cornerback Arthur Marlette is out with a calf injury. And for the Steelers, cornerback C.J. Henderson is out with a neck. Linebacker Alex Highsmith is out today with an ankle. Tight end Michael Pruitt is doubtful with a knee, but he's getting rest, so according to NFL.com, it's not injury related, but he does have a knee injury. Cornerback Corey Trice Jr. is questionable. His injury is not disclosed. And running back Jaylen Warren is questionable with a back, but it looks like he may be able to go today. Jaguars at Lions. We'll start with Jacksonville. Linebacker Yasir Abdullah is out with a hamstring. Running back Tank Bigsby is out with an ankle. Safety Ezra Cleveland is questionable with an ankle. Of course, the big one is quarterback Trevor Lawrence. He's out today with a left shoulder. Running back Killian Robinson is questionable with a toe, and defensive tackle Mason Smith is questionable with an ankle. 5 players on the Detroit Lions injury report, and 4 of those players are out today, including tight end Sam Laporta with a shoulder. That's huge. Defensive tackle Broderick Martin with a knee. Safety Afidu Metafonwu with an ankle and a finger. And cornerback Emmanuel Mosley with a pectoral injury. All 4 of those players are out. The other name listed is linebacker Ben Neiman. He's questionable with an ankle. Colts at the Jets. We'll start with Indy. Tackle Bernard Raymond is out with a knee. Tackle Braden Smith is questionable. Not injury related. They have it listed as a personal matter. And linebacker E.J. Speed is questionable with a knee. For the Jets, wide receiver Davante Adams has an illness and a wrist injury. He's listed as questionable. Guard Jake Hansen, we won't see him. He's out with a hamstring. We also won't see linebacker C.J. Mosley. He's out with a neck. Tackle Tyron Smith also out with a neck. And defensive tackle Solomon Thomas is questionable with a knee. On to the Browns at the Saints. We'll begin with the Browns. Only 2 players listed. Defensive tackle Mike Hall Jr. out with a knee. And tackle Jedrick Wills also out with a knee. And for the Saints, much longer list for them. Safety JT Gray is questionable with a hip. Center Eric McCoy is questionable with a groin. Rookie cornerback Kool-Aid McKinstry is questionable with a hamstring. Guard Lucas Patrick is out with an ankle. Linebacker Nephi Sewell with a knee. And linebacker Pete Warner with a hand are both questionable. Running back Jamal Williams is out with a groin. And wide receiver Cedric Wilson Jr. is questionable with a shoulder. Here's another big game on the schedule today, the Bears and the Packers. For Green Bay, cornerback Jair Alexander is questionable with a knee. Running back Marshawn Lloyd is out with an ankle, a hamstring, and an abdomen injury. So he's got 3 injuries to deal with. So we won't see Marshawn Lloyd. We also will not see tackle Jordan Morgan. He's out with a shoulder. Safety Evan Williams is questionable with a hamstring, and defensive tackle Kobe Wooden is doubtful with a shoulder. And for the Bears, tackle Kieran Amegdalus. I don't know how you pronounce this guy's last name, but he's out today with a calf. Tackle Tevin Jenkins is out with an ankle. Safety Tarvarius Moore is questionable with a concussion. And defensive end Montez Sweat is questionable with an ankle. Vikings at the Titans, and Minnesota is pretty much going into this game healthy. They only have 1 scratch today, and that's defensive end Gabriel Murphy. He's out with a knee. And for the Titans, wide receiver Tyler Boyd is questionable with a back injury. Cornerback Justin Hardy is questionable with a groin. Cornerback L'Jarius Sneed is out with a quad. And tackle Leroy Watson IV is out as well with a back. Raiders, Dolphins. We'll start with the Raiders. Tight end Harrison Bryant is out with an ankle. Likewise for cornerback Nate Hobbs and center Andre James. They're both out with ankle injuries as well. Tight end Michael Mayer is questionable, non-injury related. It's listed as a personal matter. And guard Cody Whitehair is out with an ankle. For the Dolphins, tackle Teron Armstead is questionable. He's getting rest for his knee injury, so he's not expected to play. Cornerback Kendall Fuller is out with a concussion. Fullback Alec Ingold is questionable with a calf. Guard Robert Jones is questionable with a knee. And safety Patrick McMorris is questionable with a calf. And guard Isaiah Wynn questionable as well with a quad and a knee. Moving on to the late games, beginning with the Niners and Seahawks. Starting off with the visitors, tight end Noah Fant is out with a groin. Tight end Brady Russell is also out with a foot. And center Connor Williams, he's out for a personal matter. A few days ago, he did retire from the NFL. So there's that. And for the 49ers, guard Aaron Banks is questionable with a thigh. Defensive end Nick Bosa questionable with a hip. He may give it a go once again. Safety John Feliciano is questionable with a knee. Defensive tackle Kevin Givens is out with a groin. Defensive end Yetur Gross-Matos is questionable with a knee. Tight end George Kittle questionable with a hamstring, but he's not expected to play. Cornerback Darrell Luter Jr. is doubtful with a pelvis. Cornerback Charvarius Ward is out today due to a personal matter. Tackle Trent Williams is questionable with an ankle. And punter Mitch Wisnowski out today with a back injury, so they'll be going with another punter. Moving on to the Falcons and the Broncos, you've got for Atlanta, linebacker Troy Anderson is out with a knee. Linebacker J.D. Bertrand is out with a concussion. Linebacker Lorenzo Carter is questionable with a concussion. Safety Drew Dalman is questionable with an ankle. Cornerback D. Alford is out with a hamstring. Both defensive end Taquan Graham and cornerback Antonio Hamilton are out, both with pectoral muscles. Cornerback Mike Hughes also out with a neck. Defensive end James Smith-Williams out with a tibia. And tight end Charlie Warner is out with a concussion. For the Denver Broncos, safety Brandon Jones, I should say. He's questionable with an ab. Wide receiver Josh Reynolds is out with a hand injury. Linebacker Drew Sanders is out with an Achilles. And safety Delarin Turner-Yell is out with a knee. Big game of the day is the Chiefs and the Bills. Kansas City really only has 2 players scratched for this game. They are defensive end Charles Omenihu with a knee and running back Isaiah Pacheco with an ankle. Both players are out for the Chiefs. For the Buffalo Bills, tackle Spencer Brown is questionable with an ankle. Wide receivers Keon Coleman and Amari Cooper both have wrist injuries. Coleman is out. Cooper is listed as questionable, but I doubt Cooper will play. Tight end Dalton Kincaid, this is another big name. He's out with a knee. And linebacker Matt Milano is out with a biceps injury. Bengals and Rams later tonight. We'll start with Cincy. Linebacker Joe Bacci is out with a hip. Tackle Orlando Brown, questionable with a knee and a fibula. I don't think he's playing tonight personally. Defensive end Trey Hendrickson is questionable. He has a neck injury, but he also has a personal matter. Defensive tackle B.J. Hill is questionable with a knee, and wide receiver Charlie Jones is out with a groin. And only 2 names listed for the Chargers. You've got cornerback Dean Leonard, questionable with a hamstring, and defensive end Khalil Mack, questionable with a groin. And then tomorrow night for the Texans and Cowboys, you've got for Houston, defensive end Will Anderson Jr. out once again with an ankle. Defensive tackle Foley Fatukasi is out with a foot. Tackle Blake Fisher is out with a concussion. Cornerback Kwame Lassiter with a concussion. And cornerback Jeff Okudah with a quad. Both are listed as questionable. And for the Dallas Cowboys, cornerback Deron Bland is out with a foot injury that's kept him sidelined all year long. Tackle Chuma Edoga is questionable with a toe. Wide receiver CeeDee Lamb is questionable with a back. Cornerback Jordan Lewis is out with a neck. Fullback Hunter Lupke is doubtful with a calf. Guard Zach Martin is questionable with a shoulder. You know about quarterback Dak Prescott. He's out with that hamstring. He's gone for the rest of 2024. So it's going to be Cooper Rush and or Trey Lance under center the rest of the way. And linebacker Nick Vigil is questionable with a foot. And that's a look at your Week 11 NFL injury reports. The new AP and coaches poll rankings will be released in about 30 minutes roughly at about 1 p.m. Eastern time. But I will be back on here tomorrow to give you those rankings. And then we'll be back on Tuesday with the Week 11 edition of The Week That Was, as we run down team and individual statistical numbers from every game this week, plus my Week 12 power rankings, and a look at the latest NFL playoff race through Week 11. That's on Tuesday. And then on Thursday, we'll do our Week 12 NFL picks, both straight up and against the spread. We'll have the injury report for Thursday Night Football between the Steelers and Browns. And we'll give you the latest college football playoff rankings on Thursday. In fact, we'll start the video with that so we can get that out the way. So join me all week for content across football. Oh, and Tuesday is also my Week 13 college football television schedule, plus the announcers for every game. That drops on Tuesday as well. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Ring the bell and get notified every time I go live. Big Al signing off. Thanks for watching and enjoy the pigskin. Peace out.